happened?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm your one and only Build Master AMOD, and I'm back with another exciting Elden Ring video. This week we are going to be building the one and only knucklehead ninja of the Hidden Leaf, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto, say hello to the people of the Hidden Leaf.
Believe it!
Perfect. Now, many of you who have watched Naruto know that it is ostensibly a show about ninjas, and what do ninjas do? That's right, they punch each other, slash each other with swords, or make millions of dollars a year doing Fortnite dancers. So this Naruto build logically must be some sort of melee build, right? And I would tell you, my humble viewer, that you were absolutely correct if you weren't entirely wrong. You see, in the Naruto universe, fights happen like this.
Stick with me, Kurama! Tail Beast Planetary Rasen Shuriken!
Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't see a lot of punching or Fortniting happen in any of these scenes. Oh, wait, actually, here's one. Oh, sorry, my bad. I forgot that even the punches shoot giant death beams that could annihilate the planet. So, if ninjas don't actually punch things, how in the world are we going to build Naruto, AMOD? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll just have to watch the rest of the video to find out. So sit back, relax, and if this video gives you a laugh, you might even consider liking and subscribing. And without further ado, let's build our very own Naruto Uzumaki. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that we need to know about Naruto is what he's capable of doing, and we'll do that per usual by looking at his canonical abilities and equipment. We'll be looking at the very end of the series of Naruto, so we're going to have a lot of spicy abilities to analyze. Now, Naruto has the ability to summon shadow clones, use Rasen Shurikens, summon truth-seeking orbs, use the giant Rasengan, activate the Kyuubi cloak, and of course, last but not least, use frog kata taijutsu techniques. Let's kick things off by looking at the Rasen Shuriken, as this is Naruto's signature attack. The Rasen Shuriken is a wind-based technique that, when gingerly placed into contact with the enemy, sparks a fission reaction that detonates a small nuke on the enemy and eradicates them from existence. Now, the Rasen Shuriken is a wind-based attack, and this, my friends, was the first roadblock that Miyazaki placed in front of me, but this most certainly would not be the last. You see, Elden Ring has a variety of stupidly broken and overpowered spell types to pick from, but wind is not one of those elements. Now, don't get me wrong, you can select Stormblade, the Ash of War, and it is technically a gust of offensive wind, but it is a single breeze gingerly ruffling the hair of the enemy. It is an offensive gust of wind in the sense that farting in an elevator and blaming the other passengers for the smell of rotting corpses and cabbage is an offensive gust of wind. And on top of that, this attack wasn't even slightly disc-shaped at all. It's like Miyazaki didn't even think that I was going to be making a video trying to create this specific character. Damn you, Miyazaki. You can hide swords in giant dogman's wrists and make entire levels of sanity-eating swamps, but you can't even predict a random YouTuber's needs? How did this game win Game of the Year? But don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen, Miyazaki will not deter me, for through my own power of mental gymnastics, I was able to find a solution to bridge the gap in this build. You see, while I was watching Naruto filler in my underwear, I started listening to the language that Kishimoto wrote for our yellow-haired protagonist. Naruto kept saying this one line over and over again. Oh gosh, Naruto, what's that classic line that you would often repeat?
Believe it!
That's right! Believe it! Now, what does it mean to believe something, ladies and gentlemen? Webster's dictionary defines it as to accept something as true, or to feel sure of the truth of something. Said differently, it means you trust in something. Or to put it a different way, you have faith in something. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we discovered that in order to play Naruto, you needed to play a faith build. Now, playing Naruto as a faith character actually aligns with several facets of the character character of Naruto, specifically in the context that at the end of the series, Naruto is literally just a god. That is not hyperbole, he has the power to just erase people from existence. Also, a faith build remedies our issues around non-disc-like attacks, since we can use incantations like Discus of Light to represent our spammable disc-shaped nuke attack. We can also just go ahead and add in triple rings of light as well. Then we can parallel the power scaling of Naruto as we put more light effects in people's faces than a strobe light at a stroke convention. Now that we've taken care of the Rasen Shuriken, let's tackle the giant Rasengan. Now, the giant Rasengan is just a giant ball of rotating normal energy. The most notable feature of this attack are, of course, its size and the fact that it is very blue. So, naturally, I started looking through the incantations, and spoiler, none of them are blue. Once again, Miyazaki throws me a curveball, and I'm stuck trying to figure out how to solve my big blue problem. Then, one day, I started looking through the sorceries tabs on Fextra Life, and guess what the sorcery page has? That's right, 2 attacks that are big and blue in Ronnie's Dark Moon and Renala's Moon. Now, the only problem is that these require a heavy intelligence commitment to use, so I don't know if we really need to include this attack. And just like that, we commit 63 points in intelligence so that we can cast Ronnie's Dark Moon. And I hear some of you saying, that sounds like a giant waste of points. But hold on, humble viewer, this is all part of my master plan to make the most synergistic Hokage in the entirety of Elden Ring. And it's all thanks to the seal that we're going to be using in this build. The seal that we selected is the Golden Order seal, which when at rank 25 gets an A scaling in both faith and intelligence, and it empowers Golden Order incantations by 10%. That means by obsessing endlessly over the fact that I couldn't just omit the giant Rasengan, I have in fact made even more synergy in this build. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that we have sorceries in our build means that we need to find a suitable staff so that we can cast our giant Rasengan. This actually aligns with Naruto's equipment at the end of the series, as he gets access to the Staff of Plot Armor deletion, which can kill any anime protagonist in a 10-mile radius. Since we are already over 60 intelligence, I decided to use the Carrion Regal Scepter because it gets an S scaling in intelligence, but also because it's going to boost my moon sorcery damage by an additional 10%. And all I have to say is, what now, Miyazaki? You thought you could beat me. Buildmaster AMOD, you thought I wouldn't find a way to put the giant Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken in Elden Ring. You should know better than to underestimate my power. But it's okay, Miyazaki. I'll forgive you, as long as you promise to keep making these wonderful video games. While we're in Sorcery Land, we should talk about how to represent Naruto's truth-seeking orbs, which instantly vaporize anything they come into contact with. Now, admittedly, I was not able to find some controllable floating death sphere that immediately evaporates matter from existence, but I was able to find a dozen floating auto-aiming projectiles that have the added benefit of being pretty annoying for anyone who wanders within a 30-mile radius of me. I'm of course talking about the Carrion Phalanx ability. Now, the Carrion Phalanx has the ability to interrupt an enemy who wants to keep you from casting your cool spells, and while a mere interrupt— Not now, Melania, I'm trying to talk to the beautiful people. And while these floating swords don't have the same destructive capacity of a truth-seeking orb, they do fulfill the aesthetic element for the character of Naruto. One of the most pivotal elements for the character of Naruto that we'll need to fulfill is figuring out how to incorporate the nine-tailed fox into our character in Elden Ring. There are instances throughout the series where Naruto just materializes a giant fox fist and gives his opponents a giant furry handjob. Wait, no, cut that. What I meant to say is, he gives his enemies a giant furry fisting. Yeah, that's better. But the problem that Miyazaki, the crafty devil that he is, has placed in front of us is that we don't have a giant spirit fox hand to give people sexually obtuse blunt force trauma. But we do have a giant spirit dragon hand to give people sexually obtuse blunt force trauma. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, in comes the Dragon Claw incantation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Claw is the final incantation that we'll be using in this build, but this is not the final ability we'll be covering. Oh no. While the Rasen Shuriken is Naruto's original attack, it is not the technique he is best known for. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about the Shadow Clone Jutsu. In the Naruto universe, there is an ability called the Shadow Clone technique, which makes an identical identical copy of oneself, with the only downside being that it gets destroyed in one hit. Most other ninjas can summon 2 or 3 copies of themselves. Naruto, on the other hand, can summon hundreds at a time. He uses them to do all kinds of fancy combo attacks, or helps him to make Rasengans, because Naruto, ladies and gentlemen, is a true believer in communism. This is not my Rasengan, this is our Rasengan, comrades. Somewhere in the universe, Karl Marx is shedding a tear. Not because animated cartoon characters are sharing their wealth amongst each other to take down foes and promote his ideals. No. He's shedding a tear because I just bastardized his life's work for a joke on the internet. In order to reflect this ability in Elden Ring, we will need to simply summon our Mimic Tier. But you are not allowed to level the Mimic Tier up past level 1. Remember that Naruto's shadow clones are destroyed in one hit. That means our Mimic Tier has to have the smallest opportunities to survive as possible to accurately reflect what's shown in the series. Now, Miyazaki is probably sitting in his chair, kicking his feet up and thinking, AMOD, you can only summon 1 shadow clone. Naruto can summon hundreds. It seems that I, Miyazaki, have bested you. Well, Miyazaki, that would definitely be true if it weren't for all 100 voices in my heads, granting my Mimic Tier the power of 100 different personalities. I bet you never thought that schizophrenia would be the trump card, did you, ladies and gentlemen? Now, ladies and gentlemen, our final ability that we'll be covering is the Frog Kata technique. Frog Kata is a special martial arts where you intentionally miss punching your enemies, and through the power of magic, you still somehow manage to hit them in the face. Now, many of you are probably thinking, AMOD, there is no way you can miss hitting an enemy and still beat them to a pulp. And to that I say, of course there is. Simply watch this clip. Here you can see the enemy is running towards me. I punch the air, and there he goes, he's dead on the floor. I hear you saying, that's unbelievable, but trust me, this is entirely possible with the right tools. First, all you need to do is start playing Elden Ring, and then, of course, make your build for Naruto, and then when you've gathered all the footage, you simply need to edit out all the footage that compromises your claim to have added a game-breaking technique, and it's as easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. Every time you want to use the Frog Kata technique, you simply need to punch the air, kill the boss through normal means, stand far away from the corpse, and then edit out all the incriminating evidence. Could we have just skipped Frog Kata entirely? Sure, but gosh darn it, I'm not here to make a suitable Naruto build, I'm here to make a perfect Naruto build. On my pride as a builder, I couldn't just let this go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to cover the last segment of our video, the actual talismans. Since we're using a Faith and Intelligence build, we'll be using both the Graven Mask Talisman and the Phlox Canvas Talisman. Both of these talismans give us an 8% damage boost to their respective disciplines, so this is a no-brainer selection. After those two, we will be using the Stargazer's Heirloom. Due to the ridiculous intelligence cost of Rani's Dark Moon, we will need the additional 5 intelligence points just to pull off our cartoon power fantasy. Now, there is a subset of people who heard me say that you needed 63 intelligence to cast Rani's Dark Moon and ran to the comments section to smite me with their words. Be sure to call them a silly Sally in their replies since they didn't finish the video. Our final talisman will be the Radagon Icon. This will marginally increase our casting speed so that we can confidently spam Rani's Dark Moon at Melania. If you feel that this talisman isn't all that great, then you can pick from the Sacred Scorpion Charm, Mariku's Scar Seal, or the Magic Scorpion Charm to give yourself even more damage. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the video, the character spreadsheet. Per usual, my builds go to rune level 160 because that's what you can reach by exploring the lands between thoroughly, but if you're looking for something around rune level 120, I have also provided that variant on the screen as well. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Miyazaki cannot stop you from being the greatest Hokage in the lands between. And hey, if you like this video, then watch me stand against Miyazaki's plans to thwart my character building when I make Geralt of Rivia. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next one.